First up, well, tensions have escalated in the Persian Gulf as Iran seized a British oil tanker in the Strait of Hormuz. Now, according to reports, Iran's Revolutionary Guard seized the oil tanker after it was involved in an accident with Iranian fishing boats. Amid rising tensions, Iran's Foreign Minister Javad Zarif has asked to cease being an accessory to the US. That's what he has told the UK. Both sides are firing shots as UK summoned the Iranian diplomat in London. Earlier, the UK Foreign Secretary Jeremy Hunt had warned Iran of serious consequences if the tanker is not released. The UK also accused Iran of tit-for-tat response after the British Navy seized an Iranian tanker off Gibraltar over suspicion of violating EU sanctions. Meanwhile, in an exclusive conversation with WION World is One, British High Commission to India has said that the UK has been deeply concerned over Iran's actions in the Persian Gulf. The High Commission said that the UK ships have been advised to stay out of the Strait of Hormuz for an interim period. It added that the UK will react in a robust way if required.
We're not looking at military options. We're looking at a diplomatic way to resolve the situation. But we are very clear that it must be resolved. Freedom of navigation in the Gulf is absolutely essential. If that freedom of navigation is restricted, Iran is the biggest loser. And so it is in their interest to resolve this situation as quickly as possible. And we will do everything we can to do that. But as I say, there will be serious consequences if we're not able to resolve it quickly.
Iran has maintained that it seized the British vessel as it violated international regulations. Reports also say that 18 Indians are among the 23 crew members of the tanker Stena Impero. The Indian Ministry of External Affairs has said that it was in touch with Iran to secure the early release and repatriation of Indian nationals. Meanwhile, signatories to the Iran nuclear deal have condemned the seizure of the tanker, rallying behind Britain, Germany and France, which have called for the vessel's immediate release. Remember, in 2015, Iran had signed a nuclear deal with the 5 permanent members of the UN and European Union. As per the deal, Iran had agreed to limit its nuclear program in exchange of easing economic sanctions. However, the pact suffered a major blow when the US withdrew from its citing Iran's non-compliance.
Took defensive action against an Iranian drone.
And these, in fact, are the latest visuals that are coming in this flashpoint between the UK and Iran. You can see those images on your screens. And this, of course, is a petrol helicopter there off the Strait of Hormuz. And in fact, this is the moment when the UK tanker was seized by Iran. These are the visuals of that on your screens. And of course, this has escalated further since then, with the UK remaining, Iran remaining defiant, saying that the UK must not be a US accessory to economic terrorism. And of course, the UK has summoned the Iranian diplomat in the UK for discussions on what next in this. This has been going on now for 6 weeks, and these visuals on your screens, of course, earlier of that dramatic visual of how the RIGC took control of the tanker and shows their operation midway. So clearly, this is an important oil route, a very, very important oil route for all Western countries, including European ones. And this has become a very dangerous zone for anyone traveling here, all the oil tankers that are making their way through this region, because simply there's been oil tankers that have been seized by Iran, and the latest being the UK one, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. They're taking control of this. Remember, there are at least 18 Indian nationals on board this as well. So the MEA in touch with the Iranian side as well on about this issue too. And Siddhant Sibal is joining us live for the latest on this. And Siddhant, clearly this is a major flashpoint between the UK and Iran on this, and those dramatic visuals there of the moment when the tanker was seized.
Well, the video has been released by the Revolutionary Guard just a short while ago, and it shows the dramatic visuals how the entire tanker was seized by the Iranian security forces, and of course right now is in Iranian custody. But of course we also know that the British Foreign Secretary has spoken to the Iranian foreign minister and has talked about the entire issue developed over the last 24 hours, and it of course concerns India, because India has approximately 18 of its citizens on board this tanker, and that is why India has asked Iran to repatriate its citizens. Remember, the global geopolitics is impacting New Delhi as well, because it's just not the seized UK ship as well, but 2 weeks ago when the British seized a Iranian ship, there were Indian citizens on it, 4 Indian citizens, and of course India has got the consular access. But the entire development which has taken place has put everyone on tenterhooks, whether it's Iran, whether it's UK, Washington or New Delhi, because that area is important for global shipping, and of course it's part of global trading zones, and that is why it impacts everyone.
Right, Siddhant, thanks very much indeed for joining us with the latest there. Those visuals on your screens of that moment when the Iranian Revolutionary Guard seized that UK oil tanker.